Oh my God. What's up, everybody? This is the Squeegee Life podcast, and I'm here with my buddy Mark Tanner.
I don't belong here.
And our podcast dog Tucker in the background there.
Hey, Tuck.
If you'd like to support the podcast, you go to www.patreon.com/Squeegee Life and sign up. It's pretty cool. It's the best.
The best in the world.
It's the best in the world.
Often imitated, never duplicated.
Myrtle Bleacher Bust. So, you went to the IWCA. What did you think, man? Did you like it, or?
You know what? I enjoyed. It was nice to meet Phil. I met Jersey. I met Chris.
Hey, Kirsch Ray, what up? Shout out to my homie Kirsch, my cousin Kirsch Ray. The guy. This is the kid on the bracelet. Everybody.
Nice.
That always sees me wearing that bracelet. That's Chris. Go ahead, Mark. Sorry.
Yeah. So, Dan Renard. I met a lot of people. Not a lot of people considering. I didn't put a name tag or anything on. You know, I just kind of did my thing and tried to help Phil as much as I could. See some of the new equipment and meet some people associated with that equipment. You know, Sean Gavin, the guys from PH7 that make an amazing product. So, look, for me, I've been about 5 or 6 times to IWCA. This one looked pretty tight. I mean, attendance was up since I was there 2-3 years ago. Shit was organized. Again, for me personally, after doing windows for so long and meeting a lot of window cleaners over the years, being in a room with them, hanging out is fun for the first hour or so, 2 hours. And then you just kind of start looking around and go, you know, it's just another fucking grouping of people that walk around with a big dick. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the big dick show. It's like, mine's bigger.
Yeah, I think you have that at these. I think you have these at those conventions. You just have that kind of thing going on. There's just some dudes out there that are like that. You know, there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, I mean, look.
I'm glad to see Tanner's here. Listen, man, anyone that fell for that little thing that I did this morning, especially Philip Alexander, you should be ashamed of yourselves.
Yeah,
that was seething in sarcasm. I mean, I don't know how more sarcastic I could have been about it, but all right.
I'm in the middle of a glass scratch job that is very taxing for me because I can get in there at 5:30 in the morning and I have to be out by 9 a.m. So if you get there at 5:30, it's a half hour to set up, and then at 8:30, I'm pulling out the wet vac and finding a mop, you know, and cleaning up my dust and everything else. So, you know, I'm trying to fix these doors, and they just refuse to let me be there after hours. So I've been leaving early. My wife's been taking JT to school, and I get a phone call this morning. I don't know, it's like right after your video went live, and she says, "You realize you kicked off the podcast, right?" And I'm trying to get something done here, you know? And I go, all right, I'll respond to that. Don't worry about it. You know, it's all good in the hood. And she's like, I almost watched it twice, but I think TJ was joking around. And I go, well, TJ wouldn't publicly do that to me. He might bash me, he might trash me, and we do that to each other, but, you know, I ain't going nowhere. I said, you know, whether they like it or not, I'm in it for the long haul, and I enjoy doing this.
So, do you think you'll go to another IWCA? I mean, if it's close?
I'll go to another one. Look, it wasn't about the free ticket. I would have had a better time if there were more Squeegee Life patrons there. Yeah. Because I know they would have come up to me and said, "Hey," you know, and that just didn't happen, which is cool. We're going to get that at the huge convention.
I'm sure.
You know, I didn't get to do everything. Well, let me back it up. It was my 22nd wedding anniversary, so the wife had a nice dinner planned. Savannah, Georgia is old historical. It's like parts of Ohio that I've seen. And you literally park and can walk to some really fine restaurants or entertainment. You know, I mean, you don't need a vehicle. You know, so you know, it's kind of a challenge getting around where you have no idea where you are. You don't want to make a wrong turn, especially when you got your lady with you. You know, so you got to be a little careful. But it was a nice place. The people there were friendly. As far as the IWCA. You know, I like to observe people, so I spent a lot of time just watching people's actions and what they do and everything. And like I said, had some good conversation. Was excited. Jersey came up and gave me a big hug. He's a lot taller than I thought. You know, I mean, the guy's huge. You know, he's an animal. So it was great to meet him. And I stumbled into Chris Lambrinides, and Chris looked like he had been in someone's laundry dryer, bounced around for 15 hours, you know, drank a case of beer, and was like total zombie walking around. So we didn't get to go to dinner just because our plans didn't line up. But again, it was nice to shake his hand and meet the man behind the website, you know, and have a little bit of talk with him. So I met some cool people. I wish I would have met more. You know,
does anyone know, was Noah Peterson there? He should have been
not
there.
Not that I saw. Yeah, I don't. You know what? It's like I said, I don't know people as much.
He's the window cleaning history guy. He's one of our patrons. I'm surprised he didn't try to find you.
Yeah, I mean, well, I was right there. Anyone who was looking at booths, you know, either walked by me or stopped and said hello.
Yeah.
You know, Phil's booth was kind of in the middle of everything, and so I got to tell you, though, T.
Yeah.
You asked me to go on Facebook Live, and I knew I was going to put it on the patron page because I do have a big mouth and tend to talk loud.
Yes.
You know, and I don't want to offend anybody, but right. I started recording it. I actually had to have Kate show me how to go live, you know, because I've never ever done that. You know, I'm like, what am I going to do with this?
I gave you a tutorial, and you screwed the tutorial up?
I did.
Oh, man.
Yeah, well, so then... Once I got away where I was standing by myself, I realized, and it was probably 3 to 4 minutes, 5 minutes into the video, that I could narrate this. And that's when I started to have fun. You know, I mean, I would have done it all day long. The kids like, you're talking too loud. They're hearing you. And I'm like, they're not hearing me, you know. And I would have been more seasoned had I ever done one before, you know, because to me that was trying not to laugh as I'm just talking shit,
right?
You know. And trying to keep people from seeing that I'm talking shit, you know. So I'm like, that was.
Yo, Joseph Henry Hardy, what up, Joseph? Captain Fedora's here.
Yeah, well,
Joseph
you know,
Henry Hardy.
Joe and I had lost touch for a while.
Joe should have came on the podcast tonight, man. We should have went fucking hard body on these dudes.
Come on, I sent him a message. We've been talking. Jason He's got an open invitation.
Yeah, Jason Lehman is in the house. What up, Jason Lehman?
But Joe, when I found out Joe was in Boca, I'm not sure if he contacted me or I contacted him first. You know, we never did get to see each other because he was very local to me. But we did have some good conversation and some discussion, and you know, I wish things would have worked out better for him with what he came down to do. But I think it was from the story that he told me in fighting a losing battle. You know, right. I mean, building a business is contrary. You don't just spend a bunch of money and you have a business. You know,
right.
I mean,
yeah.
They say if you make it through your first 5 years, at that point you've learned enough and wasted enough money and figured it out. If you're making a living at the 5-year point, that you're pretty much gonna survive, you know.
Right.
But it's the next 5 years that you're reflecting on all the mistakes you made and all the foolish things that you did that you need to learn from and move forward. You know, I mean, and Joe was in a situation, from what I gather, that people just figured if you buy a pressure washing trailer, people are going to call you. That's not the way it works.
A lot more fucking to it than that, man. A lot more to it than that.
One more thing on that subject, and I told Joe, I said, Joe, you are in an area in Boca Raton that there's probably 3 family window cleaners, meaning first, second, and third generation, second and third generation window cleaners that have had that area not so much locked up, especially in the residential market. I don't know much about that, but commercially, which he was down to do some commercial, guys have had jobs down there for 20 and 25 years or handed down through the family. Right. You're not walking in there and taking that for less, for more, for your looks, for your fedora. You're not taking it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like being your area. You've had your route established that you purchased, a long time ago.
Like 16 years now.
Exactly. I'm not going to come in your town and take work from you. You know what I'm saying?
You might get lucky and take a few. You know what I mean? There's always that chance.
Yeah. Well, so I think Joe learned a lot on this too, because what's worked for him up there might not necessarily. It would work down here, but you got to have the right foundation. And that business that he was working with had no foundation, zero. And all of a sudden, you're going to try to put a foundation after you've already been established. That's kind of turns the world upside down for the customers, for the employees, for the owners, for everybody.
Oh yeah. Well, from what I understand, the whole situation, I guess, has been rectified somewhat. He's no longer a member of the whatever the fuck that is, the PMWA GIL or whatever the fuck it is. I don't know what it is. He's no longer a member of that. I guess he's been banished. Yeah, well, we just had Louis Coatney on 2 weeks ago, and he's been booted. Yeah. So he's no longer a member of the association or org or whatever Jamie wants to call it. I'm not sure. He likes to differentiate between the two. We had a little bit of a going back and forth on a post last night, and he just kind of said that he was wondering why I felt like what happened with Joseph was shady. And to me, if Joe and this Jamie feller are as cool as they both seem to be for the last several months, I know you and ours relationship, how it would be. I know that if something like that was to come up with me or with you, which I would never have myself in that position, and I know you wouldn't either, but that's neither here nor there. You know what I mean? That's what Joe wants to do. He wants to try to share some of his knowledge with people. What's up, Jennifer?
She's saying hi to me.
No, she called me babe. She's not calling you babe, dude.
No. She said, "Hey, Mark. Hi, babe."
That's the second part's directed towards me.
There's hands in there, which means that refers over to the person sitting 700 miles away. That's what that means. You know that?
I guess. Well, anyways, he just wanted to know why I thought it was shady. And to me personally, if they had a relationship, even like a respectable business relationship, he would at least extended him a phone call. And to me, this is what bothers me about all these orgs and these associations and shit, is before you even get off the ground, you've already shot yourself in the foot. Yeah. Already, before you've got all this drama in public, you fucking ask one of the guys that helped start the org or association, he'll probably be in my inbox. It's an association! But, you boot the dude instant. Just before your huge ass event. You know what I mean? It just, to me, what's up, Tim? To me, that is some shady ass shit. And I'll be honest with you, dude. To me, I don't know. There's some shit I know, but I'm not about to divulge what I know. But to me, in this situation, it looked like an easy way to get someone like Joe, the opinionated window cleaner, a dude that's, for the most part, pretty much outspoken about shit. Yeah. It was a way to get him gone. That's what it seemed like to me. And then to come to find out, the guy that supposedly Joe screwed over he's not the one that said that shit. So someone else.
It was an inside job.
Yeah, it was an inside job. So you're gonna, if you're going to belong to an organization or an association that is that fucking petty and ran that way, you got to start to question giving them your money. You've got to question giving them your.
Well,
I'm sorry, I don't mean to ruffle any feathers or piss anybody off, but the money is the root of all evil, and I think this has to do with money.
Well, yeah, yes and no. I don't know how long the relationship was between all of those guys. Mm-hmm. I know they started this organization shortly after you and I had discussed starting an organization. Mm-hmm. Okay. Coincidence. And look, I got to tell you this, Steve, I would never allow any organization or any association to put a wedge between myself and some of the people I consider some of my best friends. Okay?
Right.
So, and part of the problem is in this country now, it's you're guilty before you're proven innocent.
Yes.
You're not given the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
Okay? If he really gave a shit and that was posted, he should have called Joe. Hey, what is this? What's going on with this? Joe could have done the same investigation that he ended up doing without them getting egg all over their face. Okay? Now, as far as I'm concerned, you couldn't give me a free membership to something like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are going to feel the same way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, anybody with brains. You know what I mean? I know they're giving away a pressure washing skid and, you know, this, that, and the third. And they've got a bunch of high-profile names that are going to be involved in this. But I don't see that lasting more than this season. That's just my... Mrs. Tanner!
He loves you.
Say hi to Jen.
Hi, Jen. Jen's not there.
Yeah, no, she's asking for you up here.
Oh.
We're high-tech. See, here's the monitor for the podcast. Right? There's cameras in the background. Okay? There's the green screen behind us.
Yeah.
And there's the remote control dog looking over your shoulder.
Mrs. Tanner is not a real person.
No, she's an android. You think that would end up with me?
Yeah.
I program that shit.
Yeah, program that shit. But just me, Ron's UAMCA org is not looking so... Well, listen, and that's pretty much the gist of it. It really doesn't seem like a lot of these things last very long.
What is that?
The only one right there, she just said thanks, Mrs. Tanner. But it doesn't seem like these things last very long. Eventually, they crumble on themselves. There might be a few out there. I don't know nothing about the Spray Wash Academy, but that seems like it's running relatively smooth without any bullshit going on. The IWCA seems to run smooth without any bullshit going on. It's up there, man. It's right there. It's up there, dude. But it just doesn't seem that none of these things run very smoothly for very long. I think someone got caught with their hand in the cookie jar, and Joseph fucking brought it to everyone's attention, and he got escorted out the door. That's what I think happened. That's what I think happened. I think somebody got caught dipping in the funds, and Joe was like, "What's going on?" And then they was like, "You got to go, bro." That's just me personally. That's what I think. So he's like, I'm not gonna debate this anymore with you in this group. Well, I wasn't asking for a fucking debate or a dialogue with you anyways. I was just stating my opinion. Those dudes over there at the PWMCA are a fucking bunch of shitheads, you know, for what they did to Joe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, I'll pick you up. Go ahead and hang up. I'll pick you up.
Look, we'll never know all the details.
No.
You know, and Joe and the podcast have lost touch over a few years, but Joe knows, especially after this, we got your back, just like we had Richie's back when he got fucking hammered.
Right.
Joe's a window cleaner.
Yeah.
Joe's trying to branch out and do other things necessarily I wouldn't want anything to do with, and you might not either. But that doesn't make it wrong. Hey, he's capitalizing on his knowledge. Nothing wrong with that.
See, and Jacob says there, he says, we run Spray Wash Academy like a smooth-oiled machine. That's what I'm saying. It seems like that's like one of the only groups I've ran across, besides the IWCA, that runs smoothly without any bullshit. It just seems like these same fucking group of jokers keep fucking... Well, I don't know.
Let's look at this as a whole here.
Yeah, we're going to add this dude to the podcast. You might have to recharge your... Go ahead. You might have to recharge your screen. You're good. Go ahead.
We're street people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're street people. We're blue-collar, bottom-of-the-barrel street people. So you expect to run something like a Fortune 500 company, you better have some, again, going back to foundation, of guys that know how to run an association. You know, when we were starting to play around with that, we had no clue what we're doing.
Right.
You know, I got Richie trying to write this, and you're looking into that, and I'm doing this, and it's like, you know, is this all gonna pan out? And
our whole thing that we were trying to do, which I'm not even sure we're gonna do anymore, which is a super sore spot with Mrs. Tanner.
Mrs. Tanner's bank account.
Mrs. Tanner's bank account is not happy about that. I mean, that was all filed non for profit. You know what I mean? Everything that we were trying to do was for the window cleaners, and I feel like when you start involving, like, let's just see how much money we can make off of this, it turns into a shit show where, what's up, Seth Byers, sexiest man in window cleaner? It turns into this situation where someone gets a little bit of power, and they're like, you know, summarily, like, you know, you got no foothold here, Joe. Fuck you. Is the way that it was run. That's what it seems like to me.
A guy that's always wanted to be a police officer gets a job as a security guard. Now he's fucking got some power.
Yeah. Look at
What's
this,
up, Joe?
Look at this motherfucker. What's up, Joe?
What's up? Before I say anything, now I love the dog. I do got to say this.
All right.
I signed a contract today, and there is a stipulation in there that it says Mr. Hardy agrees to withdraw from any negative post or comment. So I am not allowed to say anything negative.
All right.
But I can answer any question honestly, and that's not illegal.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
So if I'm asked a question, I can do the answer.
Right. So, I mean, this is what I want to know. I mean, it's not even what I want to know. I feel like, just for me personally, I don't think you as a person are a bad dude. I don't feel like you are out to fuck anybody over. You know what I mean? That's just not the impression I've gotten from you.
That definitely wasn't my plan in it. You know?
I know.
I'm gonna be honest with you, there's going to be a lot of people that get screwed over this. People that put their faith in both me and Jamie as a team. Are now losing half of that. So I mean, they kind of get screwed over on it, and I kind of hate that for them.
Right. Well, it's one of these situations to me personally. It's like like you live, you learn kind of scenario. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, I feel like I feel the same as you. A lot of people are they're probably joining one thing and probably getting another at this point. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I mean, you know, was this just out of the blue? I mean, what was the timeline like here? I mean, I went
to Florida.
Were you asking questions? Were you asking questions that you weren't supposed to be asking?
I went to Florida, and before I started doing the consulting thing, one thing I do want to say is me and Jamie sat down and talked about it because we were already doing the boot camps. And he said 100%. He said he did not see a problem with it. I didn't see a problem with it. You know, it was two separate things. So I went down to Florida, talked to him every day. I mean, this guy talked 3 times a day, you know, 2 hours at a time. I mean, call me anytime, day or night. I can tell you what he was doing and vice versa. We might as well have been married. I guess he already had a wife, so he wasn't interested in me. But
right.
But anyway, so we had a conversation the day before all this stuff blew up, and everything went good, and conversation went fine. We were talking about the event, and I told him, you know, well, we need to talk about the numbers and make sure we're okay. Covered on. When I said that, he said, yeah, no problem. We'll talk tonight. And that was the last conversation I had with him until, I want to say yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday when he called me up and threatened me that if I said anything else, he was going to expose me and this and that, which...
Well, listen, I got news for you. You've already been exposed. You expose yourself every morning on Joe Knows. You're a fucking straight up dude. Listen,
Joe, I have a question, Joe. And again, if there's anything we ask you that you don't want to comment or talk about, we certainly respect that.
I just can't say anything negative on my own.
So let me ask you this. This trip to Boca Raton, Florida, that Joe Hardy, as Joe Knows, embarked on, was that in any way, shape, or form tied into the IPM, whatever it is? No. So why would somebody supposedly associated with the company that you went down to help really matter? It's not like you went representing the PNW ABCDEFG, whatever it is. You didn't go down representing them. You represented yourself. Mm-hmm. So those are two different things. It's not like that association benefited from you being there, unless they wanted to, trolley onto that and then send you other places if the results were what people were, if it worked out, let's say. Right. And this is my opinion, and I'm sure many share this, the fact that bogus stuff was posted on a fake, because when I saw that, Joe, behind the scenes, before I think all shit broke loose, you had told me about the gentleman that was the worker for the company in Boca. My first thing is, I'm going to troll his page because I want to see what buildings he's on, what jobs he's on, because I'm local. Yeah, okay? Right. There was nothing there. I knew it was bullshit, to start with.
Mm-hmm. Now, I do want to stop for just a second, if you don't mind, and then I want to say something. The poor boy that's down there that was managing the company or whatever, for whatever reason, it didn't work out with me and him. I got to give him credit for one thing. He's a stand-up guy. He's the one that messaged me and said, Joe, I didn't say this stuff about you. Granted, I'm not happy with the way it ended, but I would never do this. I'm a private person. I'm still trying to be in the industry and everything. Mm-hmm. I did not say this. He says, you brought to light some things that were out there that we didn't realize were going on. He says, and I got to give him credit. And it's unfortunate whoever done this pretty much drug his name completely through the mud. Yeah. Now, I'm going to be honest, and I'll say it like I say. Do I think he needs to be running the company at this point in his life? Most definitely not. Do I think he's got skills with the squeegee? I seen him clean windows, and the boy can sling a squeegee. I'll give him credit there. So, I mean, he'd be a good damn employee for somebody, and I hate that his name got drugged through the mud.
So,
do you think? Excuse me, one thing, T. Just so
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Do you think that he could possibly be watching this, or does he know about? I'm just saying this. I
don't know which groups he's in. I mean, anything's possible. I have no idea. I don't think he's real big online, on social media and stuff. Yeah.
I'm just saying, because I know every window cleaning company between here and Boca, and if he's looking for some work, and you told me that, look, at 22 years old, I shouldn't have been running a business either. Let's be real.
Yeah, I couldn't either. At 22 years old, I mean, I wouldn't have lasted a week running a business.
No. So that said, though, if he can swing a squeegee and he's looking for some work, I'd be happy to try to point him in a direction that might.
Yeah, benefit. I don't, dude. But if you watch him get up Mark Tanner, he knows some people.
So listen. You kind of skimmed over something. I'm asking questions. I don't give a shit. I want to know. So let me get this straight. So you guys you started talking about the financials or whatever. How much longer after you asked about that did you get kicked out?
I got kicked out the next day. This all come out that night.
See, that's what man, dude. Dude, that's like Ray said there. That's a fucking dude. Something stinks, man. For real.
I can't see the comments, so.
I'll say this: we get a reputation. Everyone thinks that this podcast, these guys are all about the drama. No, we're all about exposing fucking assholes within this industry, whether it be pressure washing or window cleaning. We like to get the fucking turds flushed. That's just what we like to do. This is a very small thing, and this industry's small. I mean, it's big, but it's small. It's a community, and when you've got fucking guys out there trying to rip other guys like you and I off, it fucking sticks in our craw. It pisses us off.
If we started to, and I can say this because it's not talking negative. I don't foresee it all, and if it is, oh well. Sue me. We started the PWMCA, and I believe we started 100% with the right intentions. Now, granted, let's be honest about it. It was started as a for-profit. I'd be a dumbass if I didn't say I didn't want to make money, and I can't speak for Jamie, but yeah, damn right I wanted to make money on it. But I think we started with the right intentions, and we'd actually put safeguards in place. The reason we started as a for-profit, to where we could never be kicked off by the board. We couldn't build something for a year, and then the board come in and just kick us out.
How the fuck do you have an emergency board meeting to kick out a part owner of the fucking... That shit don't make sense, man.
We put safety precautions in, but apparently I didn't think to put safety precautions in for my best friend. To kick me off. Yeah. So we covered every other base but that one.
Mark, I promise. Mark, look into my eyes, Mark. I promise I'll never do that to you, Mark.
I know where you live. You don't know where I live. I know where you live.
And the whole thing, some people talk a little bit of junk about me going ahead and giving up my shares today.
Mm.
The reason I done that, guys, I had a bunch of people actually reach out to me wanting my shares. And I didn't want to hurt the members because I knew what they were trying to do with it. So I didn't do that. But also, if the PWMCA would get sued tomorrow or something goes wrong at the event and they can't fulfill the promises they've made.
And then it's your fault. It could be your fault.
I'm not able to make any decisions because I'm only 49% owner. As 49% owner, I'm still responsible for 49% of that debt or that anything that happens. Yeah. So I wanted out my name just as quick as I could get it.
Right.
If I can't make decisions to control it.
Man, makes sense, dude. And I'm going to say this, dude.
I'm going to say this, the $500, somebody asked me how did I come up with that number. Honestly, I didn't give a shit about the $500. It was just a pure spite thing. I'm going to be honest, and I'm not talking junk about Jamie. I wanted to see him have to grit his teeth when he had to turn around and send me that money.
I'm going to say this. I feel like with all of this that's gone on, thanks for the thumbs down, Ho. All of that's transpired since this has happened. I gotta say, I feel like you handled yourself like a fucking true gentleman. I honestly do. You could have been an absolute prick about this, pointing fingers. You could have tried to kick Jamie out of... Oh, no, wait a minute. He already kicked you out.
Yeah.
You could have... It's just so fucking stupid to me.
There's a lot more I could have done, but
the way that it was handled is like a fucking child would handle it. You know what I'm saying?
The stupidest strategy, and I'm not talking bad, I'm talking the truth here.
I'll get to that, Jacob.
Stupidest strategy I ever saw on anything. And honestly, I've gone so hard at this thing for the last year. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's been since September, but it's actually been a year we've been working on it. I've gone so hard at it that if Jamie would have come to me and said, Joe, I want you to take a back seat for a little while, just go attend the events and just take a back seat, let me go with it for a little while. Honestly, I'd have been glad for the break. This has taken up, my life has been consumed by this. Right. And there's a few people that ask, well, are you going to join another one? Or are you going to... No.
What for? The UAMCC was a complete and total utter shit show. And that was, 2 winters ago?
Around me, and I guess you got to look at a denominator sometimes, so I'll take a
little bit I don't necessarily believe that it's your I don't think that you're bad luck or anything. I think you just asked too many fucking questions.
Well, as a partner,
you should be able to do that.
To know everything. It's got to be transparent. Mm-hmm. We discussed that from the beginning. Everything is transparent. Every decision is going to be made among the board and everything. Obviously there's some ill intentions that, might have been under the scenes. I can't speak for that, but you know what?
I'm honest with you, this is going to sound really screwed up, and I could go on hating and everything, but I'm not going to hate. I hope for the membership
sake.
Yeah, there you go. I'm trying to think of the word.
I got you, brother.
That they find a way to recover from this and they can go on.
Right.
Honestly, I think it's done. I don't see how you can recover from this kind of hit. It was a bad strategy, but just for the members alone, because there's a lot of members there that got a lot of respect for me, and I got a lot of respect for them. So I hope they find a way to get over this and do what they were intent.
Don't get over it. Yeah. Fuck them. Leave.
Yeah. And yes, I will be going down to the Myrtle Beach show. I've made my decision up on that. I will not be attending the event. But I will be there for the after-hours networking, which is what I always enjoy at them events anyway. I've been to so many events. I've heard all them people speak, so I'm not missing out on much there. But
Jersey! Jersey's watching. What up, Jersey?
Were coming just to see me. I had a few people message me, Dan. I don't want to say names.
Well, see, and that's another thing. Like I said, when all this went down and that, we know why it didn't... Listen... I'm not a fucking detective here, but I used to watch Inspector Gadget, and I really like True Detective. Inch High Private Eye was one of my favorite cartoons. But if you ask for let's sit down and talk about the financials. 24 hours later, this ghost account comes up claiming that you're a scam artist. You get kicked out of the shit just before. Listen, man, something don't add up.
You know what the worst part about it is? That boy, when he called me up and I seen it was his number calling me, and I thought he had been one badmouth me online.
Yeah.
He picked up the phone and started cussing him out.
Yeah, motherfucker.
I realized, wait a second, he has no idea what the hell I'm talking about.
So, well, let me ask you this question, Joe.
Yeah.
The name that was set up as an account on Facebook.
Yes.
Is that very similar or the same as the actual employee of the company that you went to work for?
The last name was different.
Okay.
Dude.
But listen, let me ask you this. At some point in time, you must have had open your mouth to someone in the WYMCA thing.
Hey, wait a minute. I'll have you know, Rob Peloso, my wife went to go see her gynecologist today. The gynecologist told her that I have a long wiener, dude. It's doctor prescribed now. By the way, everyone, just so everyone that's watching. No. Wait
a minute. I want to ask you a question.
What?
The doctor told your wife that he had a long wiener?
No, that I've got a long wiener. Me.
I think you misunderstood.
No.
I think that the doctor said, I have a long wiener. Just making conversation, because that's something a doctor would say.
Well, and everyone that knows the situation, just so everyone knows, Jennifer is doing well. She's doing. She got a clean bill of health. So, and I've got a long wiener, doctor prescribed. So there's that. Gynecologist said so.
If that's what helps you sleep at night, we're all good.
You got that extension? Because I got the 3-inch extension, and that does.
You got a mini, not a pro, Joe. Remember?
I had to get
Well, I got to tell you, man. To me, something's off, man. Something's off with this. It's just like, let's talk about the financials. Then this dude comes out of nowhere with the wrong name on his account, accusing you all this shit, and then boom, hey, we got to kick you out, man. Some of the vendors, they talked over the last 5 minutes. We got to have you.
Going on. Honestly, that they were kicking me out. The only way I found out about that was through my buddy that called me up and says, "Hey, man, do you know this is going on?" I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about?" They're voting to kick you off the board. I said, "They can't vote to kick me off the board." Well, they're doing it. And Jamie didn't even call me afterwards to tell me. My buddy Lewis had to call me up and say, "Joe, this is what happened, man." He says, I refuse to vote in it, but this is what happened.
Dude,
I think the industry sees for itself, and I got to give a shout out to this industry. Sometimes you see all this drama and you think, damn, this industry, I'm talking about the mobile cleaning industry in general, window cleaning and pressure washer. Mm-hmm. You see all the drama online, you see all the arguing, and you're like, damn, this industry just sucks, man. Everybody's always arguing, everybody's always fighting. But the honest truth, I have seen a brotherhood come together for my aid, people that I haven't talked to in a long time, people that I know don't care for me, come together and say, "Joe, this is just wrong." And you guys don't know how much I appreciate everybody that reached out to me and everything, because for about 48 hours there, I was kind of screwed up and not trying to put the PWMCA down. I cared about it, but I lost my best friend in this shit. You know what I'm saying?
That wasn't your best friend, Joe. You need to stop that.
Well,
that wasn't your friend.
I
wasn't your friend.
But he was
wasn't your friend.
Yeah, he wasn't your friend.
Not your friend.
That dude wasn't your fucking friend.
Dude, a friend would
he wouldn't. Yeah, listen, if that dude was really your fucking friend, dude, he would have given you the time to prove that you didn't fuck this guy over. He wouldn't have had an immediate emergency board meeting and have you fucking kicked out almost immediately.
I'll say this, whoever done it, there was only a few people that knew enough details to pull this off. I will say that.
So
that's what I was asking about the name.
Yeah, there was only a few people that actually knew enough details to pull it off, to make that post up. There was very few that were access to this, because I didn't put, if you watched all my videos while I was down there, I didn't put a whole lot of information out about it. So there was only a few people that knew step by step what had happened.
Right. So to me, it sounds like an inside job. So was your excusing or asking them asking you to leave or kicking you out, whatever the fuck they did to you? Was it vendor related? Was it like what was morally related? What was their reasoning? Why were they like, you got to go, man, because XYZ?
I've been told there were some vendors that didn't like me, that would not sign up for the org if I was a part of it, but that was told through people upon people. I wasn't told nothing beyond that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, then the main answer that I've been given, and I think everybody else has been given, it just wasn't the best for the association. I don't get it. You know, nobody's giving it. I will say you're 100% permission for them to release any reason why I got kicked off. They can release it.
Jamie. It sounds to me like, personally, there was some traction being gained. You guys are starting to get some popularity.
Oh, we really started to do good. I mean,
some big hitters.
It looked like it was going to be great.
Yeah, some big hitters came to the plate, and they were like, listen, man, we're down for the PWMCA, but you got to get rid of old fucking Fedora over there.
Well, yeah. I think so, but there was also a bunch of vendors that reached out to me, and I can't say their name because I would not betray their trust like that.
Of course.
That reached out to me within the last 48 hours that are PWMCA supporters and said, Joe, this ain't right. Ain't right. I'm not trying to convince anybody not to go to the show because they're already invested, and I want them to go and have a good show. You know what I'm saying? I want the industry to have a good show. Mm-hmm. Plus, I want to drink with them at night when I get down there. I need somebody to drink with and buy me beer.
Well, you know what, Joe? If anything, you learned a lesson, right? So at your age, you'd never think you're going to learn something. I learn
every day. I learned on this one big time.
And I think everybody that's paid attention over the last couple of days has also learned a lesson. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So if anything good, positive comes out of it, it's that. You know, I mean, look, as we were talking, TJ and I were talking before, we're street people. Okay, we're all street people. None of us are highly educated, very few anyway. Mm-hmm. Okay, we go out there and we do a service job and we try to feed our family with that. We're hustlers. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you put too many of those and have decision making. You know, it's just like partners in business. I mean, Come on. I've had I've had several people that have had money that have come to me and said, you know, I want in on this. And you know, well, we could be partners. And you know what? No. I'm not being selfish. I don't want anybody helping me make decisions. I'm learning from my mistakes, and I'm paying for my mistakes. But I don't need somebody hand in my pocket, and I don't need somebody telling me how to run my business. You want to be my partner? Here's a package of work. You can buy it from me. I'll help you. I'll guide you. You go do your thing. I'll do my thing. But other than that, it's just a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, like I said, it is what it is. I'm moving on with my life. If you don't mind me using a soapbox.
Go ahead. Go ahead,
Joe.
One thing I do want to clear up, because I've had a bunch of questions on it from people that did not realize that I do consulting and stuff the last couple of days. The only time I charge somebody to do consulting is if I take off for 3 days or a week and I go to your business. If you call me up, I'll be more than glad to talk to anybody and try to help them out any which way I can. And the only thing that I can teach is things that I've learned and my opinion. It don't mean it's necessarily going to work for you. So these people think I'm just out here just making money. I spent yesterday, there was 3 different guys that called me, and I won't put their names out there. And I bet you I spent 45 minutes to an hour on the phone with each one of them talking about their business. I never expect a dime for that, and I don't expect, them to even offer me anything.
Well, I want to know if you want us to start a GoFundMe for that fucking tattoo you got to cover up.
I think I'm going to wear that tattoo with pride.
Oh my God! Hey, we just want to know what you're gonna do. Are you gonna do a cover up? What are you gonna do, man?
Well, I gotta wear.
First of all, where is the tattoo?
I know it's on my arm. Let me see if I can show it to you. So I don't know what they're. You gotta remember which arm it's on. Let's see if we can get it out here. There it goes. All right, I'm gonna try to get it in front of you. It's gonna be upside down.
Right. Okay. That's not too bad. You can cover that pretty easily.
I'm just waiting to find out because I know, I used to hang out with a bunch of bikers and stuff like that. I know if you get out of the biker gang, you got to get your tattoo removed or they scrub it off of you. So I'm waiting to see if one of them come and scrub it off me or whatever.
Right.
Steel brush or anything like that. Now I don't think they would, but you never know. I mean, if they want to.
Yeah, Lewis Coatney's right. Pro Wash Missouri. You should fucking known about. Listen, and this is what I told Lewis when I talked to him earlier today. Joseph, you should have known who Jamie was as soon as you seen that he was a fucking Eagles fan. That's all you need to know about that guy is that he's a fucking Eagles fan. Dude, listen. The Eagles fans threw snowballs at Santa Claus, bro. They threw snowballs at Santa Claus. Scumbags.
let's give Lewis a shout out too, guys. For those of y'all that don't know Lewis,
when
this went down, first thing he done, he stepped up and refused to vote. He said, "No, I'm not voting on this." Second thing he done, as soon as it went down, he called me up directly and spoke to me, and he told me, he says, "Joe, I'm resigning." I said, "No, don't resign because of me. You make your own decisions. I'm not trying to." He said, "Joe, if they would do you like that, they'd do me like that." And it's loyal. And I got to give that man credit. He has been loyal to me, stood by my side, even with them coming after.
Well,
even with, I can't say negative. So even through everything happened, he has stood by my side and said, "No, guys, this was not right at all." So I got to give him credit.
He's told me on several occasions, even way before any of this happened, and you and I were kind of mad at each other about some cheap shit. But
no, I mean, you have an argument, you joke.
Well, we're a couple assholes. But anyways, Lewis told me, he's like, "Man, the dude changed my business. He came and showed me something. You changed his life for him." Straight up, that's what he told me.
He's doing good. I mean, he's like me and everybody else out there. He has his good days and bad days. We all, if you're a business owner and you don't have a day where you struggle,
I'm having one. I'm having that. I'm going through that kind of time right now myself. So, and I've been doing this for this is 5 years now. It's just like I'm still kind of working my way through the weeds. You know what I mean? Shit's gonna happen every day. You never know, but. To have somebody to lean on, and that's what we should be doing as members of this community, is leaning on each other, not looking for a way to step on a fucking guy's back to get a fucking free fucking this or that for your convention and piss down their neck and tell them that it's raining. You don't trade friendships and shit like that for money. You just don't do that. You don't do that.
No.
You don't do that. You don't, unless you're an Eagles fan, apparently. I don't know. I'm just, and I can say whatever the fuck I want to say, so I don't care. I'll say whatever. You know what I mean? And that's the way we've always done it here.
To be a fan of any of them,
well, this is the way we've always done this here. This ain't nothing new from the first episode to this episode. We do it how we want it. We say what we feel. There's no bullshit here. We don't do no bullshit here. You know what I mean? I've ate crow on this podcast. You know what I mean? So was Mark. I mean, Alex Lamborghini straight called Mark out on the carpet live on the internet. You know what I mean?
So I'm the single reason he did not show up to Savannah, Georgia, because I was there.
Yeah.
I was there, and so was ABC, so there's a huge issue there.
Yeah. That's really bad.
I would turn around ready to delete my Facebook, just completely, just be done with it. Like, you know what? Screw this. I'll just go back to running my business. It does its fine on its own. I don't need all this drama. And then everybody started reaching out to me, and that kind of changed my mind. And I'm going to tell you all right now, for those of y'all that are fans of mine that have reached out, not that I'm anything special or worth following or anything like that there, I'm not done. I will not be involved in another association, but I'm still kicking, and I'm getting back up, and I'm going to rebuild one way or the other. I don't know what direction it's going to take me right now, but I'm going to rebuild.
Well, you've got our support. And I think, I told you that. I reached out to you. I haven't talked to you in months. Yeah. But I started seeing the shit going around on Facebook. Someone sent me screenshots of an argument, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then, I talked to Lewis a little bit, because I asked Lewis, to be honest with you, because I know you and Lewis are friends. I was like, what's up with Joe? Is everything cool? He's like, man, there's some shit I can't talk about going on right now. He goes, I'm sure it's going to spill over into Facebook soon, and sure enough, it did. And I reached out to you because you're one of us. I mean, you're one of the KCMO guys, for sure. Yep. We sat on that porch together and ate barbecue, all 8 of us. And what is it, 8, 9 of us? We all sat down and we talked about all this. We talked about all this. We did, all of us. There's a group there. I'll have to find the picture, but there's a group that sat down and we talked about all of this. And I feel like in our own way, even though our association didn't get off the ground right yet, and we're still working through the growing pains of it to make it the right way. We're not rushing into this, but I still
feel
Joe,
would you consider consulting for our association?
Yeah, come on, Joe. Joe, we'll make you 49.5% owner, my dude. Come on, man.
Hey, if you guys open it, I might become. I'm glad to come to attend your events, but I'm not planning.
Right.
Yeah.
Our whole thing is I feel like we've maintained that same spirit on this podcast ever since then. We have stayed even keel, And when we see some jacked up shit going on to one of our fellow window cleaners or another guy in the pressure washing industry that's getting dicked over, we're going to stand up for him because that's the right thing to do. Because you can say whatever you want on Facebook. It's just words typed onto a screen. But to see hear a guy's voice, the inflection in his voice, and get to hear what, his side of the story is paramount. And I feel like it was our duty to let you at least defend yourself. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know how much I appreciate you guys, how much I appreciate the industry coming behind me. I know there's been a lot of stuff said behind closed doors, and I know I know there are people that are still going to be PWMCA members when they wake up tomorrow. And you know what? I don't hate you for it. That's between you and your person. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But everybody did come out and say, Joe, this is wrong, or, contacted people and said, y'all done wrong here. This is just not the way you do this. I'm humbled. I mean, you don't know how much I appreciate it, how much you helped me get through the last couple of days.
Well, I can tell you this. You're a pretty fucking humble guy. I mean, when we were in KC Mo, you were standing out in front of that fucking store in your socks.
Yeah, that's because
I bleached out fedora, just smoking cigarettes, and just one of the guys. You weren't out there trying to be something that you're not, and that's what I've always appreciated about you is you keep it 100. You're not, and that's when I seen this shit. I'm like, listen, man.
Hey, we hunted Bigfoots together.
Yeah, we did hunt Bigfoot together. That is true. Shit, Joe did go, didn't he?
Yeah, yes. You got us into the Airbnb to liquid asset.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, I forgot all about that.
The Swinging Bed Hotel.
The Swinging Bed Hotel. We sprayed fart spray all over that bitch. I mean, nothing could cover up the black mold smell. I mean, there was nothing that was getting covered up. You didn't even smell
that. It was something else. I mean, but. It was interesting. I tried to lay on that bed. I won't ever forget. I lay on that bed, and the bed started rocking the whole way. I'm like, oh, hell no. I slept on that little couch the rest of the time I was there. I ain't sleep. I was sick. But, guys, I tell you what, I'm not trying to hijack your show, so I'm going to get off here.
You're all right, Joe. You're all right, Joe. You're all right, Joe.
Yeah, we're very happy that you came on.
Yes.
We were on the fence if it was the right time for you, Joe. You always have an open an open invitation anytime you want to come by and promote something or shoot the shit or just say, hey, don't be a stranger.
Right.
And listen.
Okay, for y'all let me know.
Yeah.
One more thing, Joe, before we go, because I got a comment on that fucking green screen you got going on.
I'm actually bothering me for like 45 minutes. Put up a better green screen, but before I invested in one, I wanted to make sure it actually worked.
Oh yeah, it works. It works really well.
Now I know I got to do something different. Actually put up something.
You've got to make sure. Here's a pro tip. Here's a pro tip. Yeah, I know exactly where you got it from. But here's a pro tip, Joe. When you go get go online and search for a green screen, the lighting is key. The shadows and all that stuff, you got to get rid of the shadows in your backdrop. Make sure you're well lit.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you're good to go. Because I noticed in your earlier one, your fedora was gone. Right. Yep.
But I am enjoying the green screen. I can put up all kinds of backgrounds.
Yeah, I wish I could get Mark. I wish I could get Mark to do that. Mark can't do shit. You know what I mean? Mark can barely figure out how to go live on Facebook.
But I don't know what
you're lucky I'm here.
But StreamYard is so simple. If I can figure it out, anybody can figure it out. Oh, technology is not my friend.
It's definitely. Well, Joe, I want to tell you, man, we appreciate you coming on. I know people are watching that aren't probably going to tune out just as soon as you go away. So if you're here watching just for Joe, thank you for coming on and watching.
So guys, I'll be in the comments. If you got something bad to say, wait till after I get
Yeah. But if you're watching, subscribe to the channel, man, and like this video, man. But Joe, I really appreciate you coming on. You have our support 100%. And thank you for handling yourself like a gentleman throughout this whole thing. I think you did a really good job, man. Better than I could have done. All right, Joe?
Well, appreciate everything. And like I said, I'm out here. I'll be watching, but I'm going to sit back and watch now.
All right, brother. Peace.
So wait. I want to ask a question.
I'm just saying. Okay?
Come on, dude. Go ahead,
If
Mark.
you want to go, if you really got to go. No.
I was trying not to hijack your show.
So, now you're back home, right? It's the middle of winter for you.
Yes.
Right? So work is probably a little bit less than normal. So you're going to rebuild. We're going to go back to building Circle H. We're going to change things around. What exactly are your plans?
I'm doing a little bit something different in my business that most people are probably not going to agree with. I got pretty big last year, and at one time I was running 3 trucks. And I was making good money, but there was a lot of headaches that go along with that. I've always said, as you get to different levels, there's different aggravations.
Yes.
Yeah.
This year, as of right now, what I am doing is downsizing my company to where I can run 1 to 2 trucks. Just going to try to keep them going. And I'm going to do a lot more of the consulting and stuff like that. And I have decided that pretty much every winter, because I enjoyed having that month off where I wasn't chasing work, trying to figure out how I was going to pay payroll, how I was going to do this, how I was going to do that. That every winter, I think, come Christmas time, we're shutting down till February. February. I'm my be down a little bit. I'm still going to have crews, but it's not going to be on the level I was trying when I started out to build it to 5, 10 trucks, make it big. Now I've kind of got to the point where, you know what? My bills are paid for. I don't have to do that. I can take a little bit more time for myself to go fishing. I got a motorcycle sitting out there. I haven't rode.
Woo! Hope you bought your wood screws, because I'm going to need to screw my emblem back on.
Hey, I traded a 9mm pistol for that motorcycle.
You fucking hillbilly. See, that's what I'm saying, man. You guys got to stop hating on Joe, man. Salt to the fucking earth right there, man. You know what I mean? He's from Kakalaki. He's a sweetheart of a guy, man. Just give him a break, man. Don't listen to these fucking scumbags. You guys
mind if I put somebody on the spot for just a second and bring somebody on? Sure. Maybe he can speak on my character or something.
Okay.
I'm going to bring my father on now. He's never been on a Facebook Live or any of that.
Man.
Awesome. What's your dad's name?
Paul.
Oh, hey, Paul.
Hello, Paul.
Don't worry, he's an ass.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
So growing up, I got a feeling that Joe got in a lot of trouble, and you had to tend to his ass every now and again, huh?
Hey, hairs.
He cost me gray hairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, so did Joe ever bring any farm animals home? You know what I'm saying? Like, not 4-legged ones, just the
The 2-legged one, yeah.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Hey, Joe, you can hang up now, but let's stay with Dad for a while.
All right, Joe. Hey, man, we love
Joe's
you, bro.
like, I got to go.
Yeah, I got to go, guys. Hey, we love you, Joe.
He's my resident mechanic. He fixes all my stuff for me. And
you got Chevy trucks, man. You must keep him busy. You got to be all pissed now.
It's funny. I own my house, or my camper, excuse me. I own the land. I own my business. I own all that. And when employees get hired, I had an employee not too long back that worked for me, and he made a mistake and smarted off of my father. And when I heard about it, I went to the employee. I said, well, you fired. He said, well, I said, let me explain something to you. I own all this stuff. And if that man tells me to sit down and shut up, I'm going to sit down and shut up.
Right. Yeah.
Do that as the owner. What do you think you're doing as my employee?
Yeah.
So he runs the show. I mean, he don't say a whole lot, but I have had Dad come to me a few times to say, that boy's got to go. And you know what? If Dad says you got to go.
You got to go.
You're out.
I love it. I love it. All right, Joe. Well, we'll let you fucking go. I know you want to get out of here. So before you incriminate yourself. Thanks for coming on, Joe.
Thanks, man.
Yep. Be good, Joe.
Yeah, man, that was cool. Thanks again to Joe for coming on. That he didn't have to do that. That was cool. That was totally unplanned. I know people think it was planned, but it wasn't, because I went into this. I was like, well, everybody's going to be expecting Joe, and Joe's not going to be here. You know what I mean? But as soon as I seen that call, I was like, thank God Joe's here. So
as we saw the evolution of the issue, you and I had spoke earlier today, and I said, I think I've spoke to Joe and told him he has an open door anytime he wants it, and you said, well, I don't think Joe's ready. And remember this morning I said, let's wait to see how the day plays out, and that's going to dictate if Joe's coming on. So it all worked out, and you know what, I'm sure that if anything, we also helped Joe get his word out. You know what I'm saying? Because it's got to be frustrating to try to defend yourself in text on a Facebook page with everybody judging you.
Well,
but at least here,
and that's really the crux of the issue, man. To me personally, is that should have never been. It should have never been an argument on fucking Facebook to begin with. It should have never have been a release, a press release on Facebook. None of that shit should have happened, man. Jamie should have called Joe up instantly and been like, yo, What's going on? Let's, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Let's figure this out. La da 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 da. No, they just went straight to the let's kick him out. And to me, that reeks of corruption. I'm sorry, it just does.
Of course it does.
You can say whatever the fuck you want to the contrary and till you're blue in the fucking face, but anyone with a brain in their fucking head can look at this situation and say there is something that stinks at the top. That's just all there is to it, man. That's just all there is to it. So just go forward with that in your mind, that the people there's people involved in this or with their hands in the cookie jar that are pulling the strings in an organ. You can just get kicked out because they don't like you.
Yeah.
Or
especially one of the founding people that started
the founding guy. There was two. So for that to happen that quickly, especially before a large event like that, it just reeks of something's not right. It just does. Yeah. I mean, I don't care what they can't say now, well, we thought this. See, that's the dude was already he was already guilty without there even being like a discord between the two of them. You know what I mean? They're just like, we're done with you. We don't care if there's an explanation. We don't care if they're unfounded allegations. We don't care. So that tells me that someone either wanted, like Joe said, wanted to be a part of it, or someone already involved with it didn't want Joe to be involved with it anymore, or someone is, using money that they shouldn't be using. Whatever the case may have been, they just wanted Joe the fuck out of there. And that's just, to me, that's not something I want to be a part of. If you can't come together as equals on an equal playing ground and, discuss this in a manner where it's supposed to be a business situation, you don't get terminated just because, like Mark goes to the boss and says, hey, TJ was sticking his finger in Jim's asshole on lunch break. You know what I mean? You can't just, that's an accusation. That's not something that you need proof. You know what I mean? You can't just get fired for that.
No one person that bullshit, you've got a partner at 49% should ever be allowed to be judge and jury. I mean, come on. Mm-hmm. That's absolutely ludicrous. That's crazy. It's crazy. Well, I'm sure Joe learned a lot from this. Yeah. I'm sure the association learned a lot from this. Yeah. Whether they recover, look, there's a dent in that association now. Mm-hmm. So it might recover, but it could have been, 20% more in less than a year. Right. So who knows what's going to happen with it, but I can tell a lot of people that whether they're friends of Joe's or fans of Joe's or not are going to look at things a lot differently.
Yeah, they've effectively, anyone involved in that still or a member of it has effectively tarnished it's tarnished now. In my opinion, it's tarnished. And if it was me, I'd question being a member of it. Just me personally, just because of the way that went down, because anything can happen to me at any moment. Yeah. You know what I mean? Boom, I'm done. You're done. Why? Well, because, X, Y, Z. It just doesn't. I just feel like it could have been handled better, man. That's just my personal opinion. I think if they were friends, that's really what bothers me. Really, when it gets down to it, that's what bothers me. They were buddies. This shit came out. You should have just called him and talked to him, man. Yeah. And the fact that you didn't, and the fact that you didn't really makes it look like you had an ulterior motive from the very fucking beginning.
Oh, made it.
I'm sorry. That's why I hopped right onto it immediately. Yeah. Yeah. I was like, man, this don't seem right at all. This dude's PWMCAA, all this fucking yada yada yada, woody woody woo. We have Lewis on the podcast. Henry's in my inbox. He's like, man, thanks, for having Lewis on. And he's just really, whatever. And I'm like, cool. And then like a week later, boom. Yep. He's out. Why? Oh, because this fake fucking Facebook account said this. That should have, when all that shit started going down, Jamie should have called Joe immediately. Yeah. They should have had a conversation immediately, and they didn't. And just for everyone that wants to know, hey, Mark, where can I get a maker shirt size large? I make them. Yep. And that dude that tried to steal Squeegee Life from me is into the Flow group now. He's just came back to window cleaning. That's really great. Hopefully he doesn't break out his Cricut machine and try to take Squeegee Life from me again. But we'll keep it moving.
I was going to do a survey over at the IWCA. What were there more of? Jehovah's Witnesses or flow people?
Oh my goodness gracious! I tell you what though, for everyone that's been asking, yes, Mark is short, but he is not shorter than Philip. He's actually about an inch taller than Philip. So if anyone is wondering how tall Mark is, and if you've ever met Philip, Mark is about an inch taller than Philip. But Mark's built like a brick shithouse. Don't let it fool you. Mark can give you tickets to the gun show.
Phil stood there. Phil stood there and said he's 5'6". Okay. I
no
said,
way.
You're not 5'6", because I'm 5'5". I know how tall I am.
No way, yeah.
Okay, and I go, I'm looking at you now, and I'm taller than you. And he's like, no. He wouldn't let it ride. So then we pulled out take the hat off. Let's go back to back. Oh, God. That's funny. But Phil,
I was actually surprised. I'll be honest with you. At all the huge convention, I was surprised. I didn't realize there was that many JWs in the industry. There's a ton more. You know what I mean? There's a lot of them.
Yeah, they have
the
radar.
Industry.
They have radar.
They must be pretty good at what they do, because there's a lot of them that do it.
I thought somebody, had a free buffet rollout because Phil took off, knocking old ladies to the ground because he saw a JW across the room. Fire!
Well, man, that's just like this community, man. They're tight knit.
Hey, look,
they're tight knit.
You gotta respect it.
Yeah,
look, I'm gonna tell you something. I met the boys from PH7. Okay, and had some good conversation with them. They shared the booth with Phil from Simpole. Very cordial, well-spoken guys that know a lot about pure water systems. And I build shit. You guys all know that, and I overbuild shit. Okay. But their cart, their DI RO pump driven cart, the main tube that holds the chamber that holds the RO membrane, is what's called, I believe it to be, in looking at it, Schedule 80 stainless steel, which is almost a 1/4 inch thick.
Right.
Okay. That tube on itself probably weighs 80 pounds empty, and it's stainless. Okay. You could take that system and literally drop it off a building, and it would laugh.
Right. I
mean, it is so overbuilt, but that's what you want when you put it in the hands of an employee. Very well designed systems.
Listen, I mean, a PH7 is great and all, but do they have a machine that will vacuum, brew coffee, and clean water?
And
do they?
Forget cappuccino
and cappuccinos,
and all the different kinds of coffee that there is.
Cheap It sells the Flow, and it's got all it makes coffee. It's just like Dyson, man. It's just like it.
Yeah. I mean, that sucker's hard body. Coming to a Bed Bath & Beyond in China any day.
Comes with a free package of flu. Oh, exactly. Man. I got a super cool t-shirt I'm getting ready to come out with as soon as Jennifer gets off her lazy ass and fucking designs it. But I got a super cool hard body karate style Squeegee Life shirt coming out. It's going to be super rad mobile. Yeah! As soon as I get the stuff done, I'm going the graphics done, I'll post it, and we'll do pre-orders on this shirt because I'm only going to do them for a little while, but they're going to be hard body karate for sure. Hard body karate, bro. Yeah, the PH7s, man, those things look like tanks, man. They do. But I got an IPC or ICP or IPC or whatever the fuck you want to call Eagle hydro cart. The 4-stage. That motherfucker's a beast, dude.
IPC was there representing, and their new hydro cart has the stainless steel chamber around their
IPC, send me a new hydro cart, man.
Yeah. That I was talking to those guys, and they're like, are you interested? I'm like, I already got 2 of them. I said, and I swear by them. They're a great piece of equipment.
I've had mine since 2006. That thing's made more than $1 million, I bet.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
More than $1 million.
They're
and
money
not
makers.
A single hiccup. The hose reel started leaking, so I just disconnected the hose reel, stuck a quick connect on the bottom, and banged my pole into the bottom right. Dude, it's a tank. Oh, it fell out of the truck going down the road, down the highway. I stepped on the gas. The machine slid all the way down the bed of the F-150, knocked the tailgate almost completely off the back of the truck, hit the ground, and slid down the road at 65 miles an hour. It's got the scrapes on the bottom of it to prove it. I'll show it to you when you come here. We picked it up, put it in the back of the truck, rewired the plug because it ripped the plug off, and we cleaned windows with it the whole day. It's still got the same plug we cut off a shop vac and put on. It's still got the same thing. Runs like a champ.
Look, it's a proven system.
Yeah.
It's a proven system. I mean, Sean's carts are very nice. All the stuff that I looked at, there wasn't anything. There wasn't anything that resembled a Dyson vacuum full of plastic, and some of these things, if they just tipped over, would probably hurt somebody as the parts fly off. But it's all
Did you see that post in Pro Window Cleaning? I sent you pictures, didn't I?
I think so. What?
That dude from Australia, I can't remember his name. Is Luke?
The band exploded.
Luke Renry. The fucking band exploded on that flow.
Yeah.
This dude paid $3,000 for this thing.
You know what the problem is, dude? I can tell you exactly 100% sure in my mind what happened. He probably pushed the decaf button at the same time.
Oh, yeah. That'll get you every time, dude.
Cappuccino.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you hit them both at the same... I know the buttons are close together, but if you hit decaf and espresso at the same time, that fucking thing's going to blow up, dude. Woo, yeah, baby. Oh man, we don't like that guy at all.
Hey, we got time for some news. I got a news story to read here.
Let's hear the news. Here's news with Mike Tanner.
Okay, you guys are going to start to see a pattern here, but it's what makes me laugh, so I hope it makes you guys laugh. All right, this is entitled "Message in a Bottle." Okay, a man has had a 7-inch long glass bottle removed from his rectum after he inserted it into himself to scratch his itchy backside. Okay. The patient, listen to this. The patient from China, known as Mr. Wen, had to undergo urgent surgery to remove the hard object after it got stuck. He first went to Dongguan. Anything with the term dong in it is good to me. So we're just going to use it as dong. He first went to Dong Hospital in southern China's Guangdong province on November 1st after finding it hard to walk with the 2-inch wide object lodged in his backside. Mr. Wen told doctors he was trying to use the container to scratch his itchy rear when it slipped into his body all of a sudden. He was immediately examined by Dr. Lin Jun, director of the Department of Colon and Rectal Surgery at the hospital. And before long, Dr. Lin detected a hard object lodged in Mr. Ren's rectum about 2 inches from his anus. An
Lord
X-ray
have mercy.
confirmed that the item was a bottle. Mr. Wen was forced to have immediate surgery to extract the bottle from his bottom, and the operation went smoothly. It turned out the bottle had been used to hold liquid used as a traditional Chinese mosquito repellent and itch soother.
Dude. Wow.
That's messed up.
I don't even know what to say about that. What do you mean? Hey, Philip, don't come on here trying to talk about your stuff. You told Mark that you can't watch the podcast anymore because we're offensive.
Phil, where are you at?
He's on there. He shouldn't be watching this. You're no longer being represented by Squeegee and this podcast. I will not advertise for you anymore because it's too offensive. You've lost all my help.
It's a strange world. You know what I'm saying? When like I said, if anything, if you ever go to a convention or the huge convention, you're going to meet people that are just going to blow your mind with the way they do things, the way they act, the way they talk. I mean, look, like I said, when I met you, it seemed like I had known you for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? What it is exactly what it is, The nice thing is you get to put a face to the post, a face to the profile picture. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And sit down and have a good conversation. And meeting Phil, I have to say, meeting Phil, it was exactly what I figured it would be. You know what I'm saying? He's a little bit shorter than I expected. But other than that, you know, Phil's he's a spirit, you know.
Listen, man, I don't when I say, well, you know, that's a problem with everybody. When I say something, everybody takes everything I say seriously. You know, I mean, I've done all I can for the man. You know what I mean? He, you know, I mean, I feel bad that he can't watch our podcast. He feels that it's offensive. I think it's offensive that I sold all those polls for you, and now you ain't got no respect for me anymore. So,
look, I think that, you know, he took your ideas,
yeah,
and made some really nice equipment out of it. You know
well,
what I'm
listen,
saying?
I tell you this. That's the main thing for me and why I started out with it in the very beginning, because once I got my hands on the Sim pole, the Sim 22, I was sold instantly. Instantly. That's the one thing I can say is that Philip has an awesome pole. It's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah. It can't be beat. And I know a lot of people, you don't want to say this or that or this or that. Just get a Sim pole in your hand and you'll see what I'm saying. It's a quality piece of gear. Philip, he won't let. I can't help him. He won't let me help him. You know what I mean? And when someone doesn't want you, I mean, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force him to drink. Absolutely. You know what I mean? And Phil's always my buddy. He's always welcome on the podcast, but you know, it seems as though he doesn't want my help anymore. So that's sad. I feel bad about it, but you know, if you ever change your mind, you know, we can talk. You know, we can talk about it. We can talk about it. Hey, you can buy. Yeah, hey, you can buy a sponsorship spot on the podcast. You know, just hit me up and I'll sponsor. If you want to buy a sponsorship, I'll let you buy one. But the Sim 22 is. I'm telling you right now, and he's got that katana now. I haven't used one, so I can't speak on it. But if it's anything like the Sim 22, it's fucking. Did you get the?
I had my hands on one. Yeah.
What did you think? Let's see. They're just like so good, man.
It's like the trad pole stretched out into a full size.
Really.
Pole. The finish on it is amazing. Even the logo and lettering with the gold leaf looking stuff on it. I mean. I'm going to tell you.
I can't. Hopefully, there's one at the huge convention.
We had a couple of Phil's poles. He had the Kevlar one leaning up against the wall, stretched out probably 30% because the ceiling wasn't that high. The ceiling was like 25 feet. And I go, hey Phil, do you mind if I open up that katana and lean it on the wall so that when people walk by, we're going to show them, and you could walk up to either one of those poles. I mean, the Kevlar is amazingly strong. You can lean into that thing, laying on the wall, and it starts to just compress the bristles before. It's
a little heavier. The Excalibur is a little heavier. It's got a little more bend to it, but you're gonna have that. You're never going to have to buy another water fed pole.
Yeah.
And what's nice about it is once you've bought it. By the way, anybody wants to buy mine, I need money, so you can buy it from me. You only have to use as much of that pole as you need. You could take it apart in every section. So if you're only doing 2-story work, you only need 4 sections of that pole. And it's not beautiful size. It's nice and light, super rigid. You know, I mean, anything at height is going to have a little bend in it. You know, there's no getting around, except for the Sim 22. The Sim I got video. Listen. I got video of the Sim 22 with 7 and 8 section attached to it with an EXT. Kevlar EXT extension all the way stretched out, leaning up against the building, dude, like an arrow, it's sanity, dude. They're great poles, man. They're great poles.
Yeah. I'll tell you a funny story.
They're awesome.
So apparently, I wasn't paying attention when there was either a video or a mention of, and you had said something once that I didn't quite understand. Mm-hmm. I said, when Phil integrated the hose holder into the clamps, you said it almost looks like that was just an accident that worked out. You said something along those lines. Yeah. Okay, so I have to admit I guess it's stupidity on my part. Mm-hmm. Okay, because a customer comes up and I'm like, let me show you something. This is the only pole that hose, the hose, the pole clamp has an integral hose holder built into it every other section. So Phil's kind of watching me. I take the hose like I do with my sim pole, and I grab the hose and I stretch a little bit and snap it behind into the eyelet, the open eyelet, okay? And he goes, no, it doesn't go like that. And he showed me how he just folds the lever shut and it kind of holds it up in there.
Yeah.
And I was doing it all wrong. I was putting it inside that hole. Now, that works good.
Yeah.
That works good.
Yeah.
It's kind of when you collapse the pole that wants to move the clamp.
But yeah, you have to pull it out to collapse the pole. But if you do it the way Phil does it, you don't have to do that. It's a well thought out pole, man.
Oh yeah. So today was the first time since I got back and had that lesson to use my pole, and I was setting it right behind. It's right behind the adjustment and the lever, putting it in there, and it never came out. And I opened it up, and it comes right out. I mean, it's just a really good. It just worked out good. Right. I'll say that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, it worked out really good.
I'm glad you had fun down there. I am. I'm glad that you enjoyed yourself. Your wife enjoyed her 22nd wedding anniversary on her phone at the window cleaning convention.
At some point in that video, she walks up behind me. I don't even know it. Right. I'm running my mouth, and she's like, "Behave yourself."
Yeah, I heard her. That shit was so good, dude.
That's when I was quiet for a little while.
So good, dude. I love you and your wife's interactions with each other. Are absolutely they're priceless, man.
Yeah, we have a good time.
Yeah, you guys are awesome together, and she really knows how to rein your ass in.
No, she does. Yeah, she does. I mean, dude. I started thinking about it. Because we're married 22 years, we're together 25 years. She's put up with my shit longer than my mother did. You know what I'm saying? So she's a saint. Yeah. She's like, you know what? It's always exciting because I see a look in your eye, and then you open your mouth, and I'm just wondering, what are you going to say now?
Yeah. I tell you what, I stand with that kind of awe at times too on this podcast. When you start going, I'm just always like, man, what is he about to say, dude?
Well,
shit, dude.
I'm the only one that's come to as a guest on the podcast and never left.
Right. Yeah, you are the only one. Yeah. I can't tell you or anybody watching or anybody that's going to listen to this after it's posted on iTunes and Podbean for free. For anybody that's watching this that don't normally watch us, you can find this podcast for free on iTunes and Podbean. But all of these people, I want you and them to know that I am so thankful for you and your friendship and you being here and to do this with me. I'm going to start crying. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not no fucking Vaseline rear end. I'm not.
Yeah. Well, Kevin just brought something up, and it's not that I forgot. I haven't, Kevin and I had some really good conversation. Kevin and his wife are really good people. I enjoyed meeting Kevin. Was like meeting you. I knew the way it was going to be.
Right.
Unfortunately, Kevin's new Chevy broke down in front of the hotel, caused a traffic jam and a nightmare. So I was an integral part of laughing at that and making comments. Right. But other than that, it was a great game.
Yeah, Kevin's a good dude. Kevin's a real good dude. I met Kevin last year. He swung by and we had chicken McNuggets together. He's a cool dude, man. He's a really good dude. Really good dude. Yeah, Kevin's good people.
We
need to do Into the Flow shirt, Kevin. We need to do that one of these days. We're going to do that one of these days. I want to do a unicorn farts shirt.
There you go.
I want to do like a unicorn, like flowing some flow colors out. Like pooping or puking, one of the two.
I'll tell you what, dude, like I said before, that flow group, they're tight.
Yeah, they're tight. And I tell you what, I appreciate that about them. They're I guess what would you say, Mark? They're like the Disney Saturday night family movie of the Squeegee Life gang.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, the whole group is rated G. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, general audiences.
Really good people.
Yeah,
I was talking to some people, and then I know you from somewhere, and I scroll through and find them, and they're flow people. And like I said, they took time to pose for pictures. I'm like, where the hell was all this going on? Right. Y'all look like a freaking 1980s soccer team. You're all stacked up in a pyramid and standing on the top.
And you didn't even ask Mark,
Yeah.
Are you a member of Into the Flow, Mark?
Yeah, I'm into the flow.
Oh, you're into the flow and didn't get asked to be in any pictures? That's fucked up.
Well, keep this in mind.
Or were you in the picture? We all we could see was your hat, or?
Yeah, no, no, but I pretty much whatever, like, I'm still on Outlaw, but I don't post there very much. And when we changed over to Squeegee Life podcast page, I use that as my personal page. You know what I'm saying? I never post anything on my own timeline. So which goes to show I don't interact with the flow group, and it's not because I have anything with them. I just don't do that because I start to get, I don't want to be angry. Yeah. Now the flow group is a very tame page. It's not like professional window cleaning. Yeah,
pro window cleaning. It's not like the wildlands of pro window cleaning. You got to go in there with your shield and your sword ready to go.
I can tell you this: if you brought the entire pro window cleaning group to the huge convention, there's going to be a barnstorming brawl.
Yeah, they're good people, man. You can't fault them for being good people. They got a certain swagger about them. You know what I mean? And anytime that we can help, and Kevin would like to include us to help, we would like to. I know Kevin likes to not ask people to be a part of shit, but if he, Mark would have liked to be in a picture. You know what I mean? Shit, dude.
Well, you know what? Whatever they're doing, that flow group isn't that old. Has grown very organically.
Yeah.
And very quickly.
That's just like, the Squeegee Life podcast page. That's not, there's window cleaning talk that goes on in there, but it's really just the reason why we stopped posting all that shit in Outlaw and Pro Window Cleaning is because everybody got mad because this isn't window cleaning related talk. Well, listen, I clean windows for a living. That's how I pay my bills. I just want to get together with guys that think like I do, clean windows like I do, and like to have a good time and cut up. Yeah. If you want to, listen, this podcast the same way. We like to, we're not going to, Jersey has an awesome show that's all about window cleaning and pressure washing and the service industry, to-dos and not to-dos and all that. That's a great place for that. So go watch that. You know what I mean? But if you want to have a laugh with the fellas like you're working on the glass, this is where you come. If you have a serious question that needs answered, like, man, what do I do about this? Man, what do you do about that? Mark's been cleaning windows since the 80s. I've been cleaning windows 16 years. I'm sure that between the two of us and the guests that we have on this show, we can figure out a good strategy for you to move forward with any question that you may have.
Yeah.
So, you get the best of both worlds here. You know what I mean? But it takes a village. You know what I mean? And the world is full of all kinds. And as long as we can come together as a community when we're needed to, that's the main thing. We all don't have to have the same sense of humor. We all don't have to have the same religious beliefs. We all don't have to, run our businesses the same way. But if one of us needs each other, we should stand up for each other. That's what we should do. You know what I mean?
What I found interesting at the because anytime I've gone to one of the IWCAs, I've never taken full advantage of everything that's there. Because let's be real, you can tie 3 to 4 days of nonstop window cleaning information.
Right.
And for me, it's a little redundant. And so it was funny because Phil said to me, hey, with your pass, you're invited to the formal dinner, and we'll get something for your wife so we can get her in and whatnot. And I was like, you know what, Phil, I appreciate that. I'm gonna pass. The wife and I are gonna actually head home a little earlier. So I have my Sunday because we left. We had to check out of our Airbnb Saturday morning, and so we were just gonna grab a bite to eat and head home.
You hear that, guys? So he can have his Sunday.
Yes, I love my Sunday.
He likes his Sunday. So if anyone's mad that we don't do 2 podcasts a week, it's Raya. I almost said Raya because Jen just screamed Raya. It's Mark's fault that we don't have 2 podcasts a week anymore.
Yeah. Well, look, I've never said no to a podcast.
It's a fucking lie.
I like to try to keep it consistent.
It's a lie.
It's a lie. But so here's the thing. I started seeing people towards the end of the day coming back into the trade show in suits, and there was like a lot of people in suits. So I'm just going on the record and saying this, and I don't know how you feel about this, T, But if there's some kind of formal dinner where I got to wear a suit, that ain't happening. That is not gonna happen.
I don't mind dressing up. I mean, I own a couple of suits, and I know how to tie a tie, like I told these fellers into the flow the other day. You know what I mean? I may seem a little rough around the edges, but I am house trained. You know what I mean? I was raised by 2 Depression era grandparents and a 32nd degree Freemason, and being squared, and who was also in the Army. So I know what it's like to be, I know how to be squared away if I need to be. I know how to maintain my gig line and the whole 9 yards. I could tie a Windsor. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a total savage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not a total savage.
I use a strap on.
Yeah.
Strap on.
You can't. No, you don't. Do you really?
Yeah, I don't know how to tie a tie.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I think
man.
the last time I had a tie was 22 years ago at my wedding. I used to go to my dad's, and he tied it and left it loose for me, and then I snugged it up, and as soon as the ceremony was off, that shit was gone.
I do have 2 ties in my closet right now that are tied, that I won't untie because they were 2 ties that my grandfather tied for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and and I'll just, one of them, you guys may not know of this, but one of them has been worn in every Wet 'em Willie skit, every one of them.
Oh yeah,
yeah. That tie awesome. That's around my neck. That was one of the ties that my grandfather actually tied. Not for me personally, but they were his ties that he had hanging up in his closet. You know what I'm saying? So those are his glasses. That's his hat, except for it got smashed, so I just left it smashed. That's his sport jacket that used to fit me, but now if I hulked out, I could probably pop it. So
yeah,
but yeah.
I think it's time for another Wet 'em Willie video, dude. I mean, it's been a while.
I don't know, man. Willie, Wet 'em Willie is something I like to do when something absolutely fucking ridiculous happens. There just ain't been something. I'm waiting for Perry. I mean, I'm waiting for one.
The broken coffee maker might help.
Maybe I need to screw a coffee maker to a fucking vacuum cleaner, and get a water fed pole. I've actually got some shit here. I mean, I could probably make my own cheap. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to start working on that.
No rush. Just take your time.
I will. I'll start working on that. I'll go to the Sim Labs and start.
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah. What do we got here? Mark, when are your products coming out? By Jason Lehman. I'm not really sure when Mark's products are coming out.
No, neither is mine. I mean, it's just like I seem to have always another hurdle put in front of me, and I'm kind of getting to a point now. And Kate and I were talking about this actually on the way home from the show, and I said, maybe it's about time I just put my big boy pants on, nut up, spend some money, get this into production, and send it out there and see what happens.
Right.
Because it's not that I'm not a patient person.
Right.
But I've been considering this for a long time, telling people this year, and I don't want to come across that I'm lying or I'm full of shit or anything of that. I'm looking forward to coming up there in a few days and maybe you can get some video going.
Well, definitely will. You might have to come pick me up first. I don't know if I have gas money, but...
Yeah, I'll pick you up. Awesome. I'm getting some kind of rental. But, I've learned over time, anyone who really, really knows me, if Mark ever asks for something, he's in total desperation because I try to do everything for myself. I don't like to rely on people. Maybe because growing up, you get disappointed from friends and family, and it just hardens you up to where you're like, I'm just going to do it myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To where maybe I should just nut up, drop 10 G's, and pull the trigger on getting my product out there, because I know once it gets out there, the value of it, the fact that it can make you so much money, so much of a nice living in an untapped market.
I agree with you, but I'll raise the stakes. It's something that I've noticed over the last couple of years that it's picked up in frequency, but when a question about a stain or a scratch gets brought up in any one of these groups, you get tagged in it. Not by me. Yeah. Someone will tag you in that shit. Someone will tag you. And I think that's really picked up since the podcast has started.
Well, it has. It definitely has. I was tagged in one yesterday or the day before, and there was so much disinformation in there that I just even feel bad responding because the first thing I say, none of the above is a great idea to do. None of it.
Yeah.
Not that I know everything, but don't do what they're telling you to do. And I think once I cut my teeth, my passion, I would have a huge passion the way I used to when I was developing this. Now I just go make money doing it. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm finishing up a job that's an early morning job. It's taxing my company, but I've got another couple days there. Then I'm coming up to work by you, and I've already got 2 more on hold when I get back. That are like, I had the sweetest lady that's selling her condo, and she had those temporary blinds, they're like paper. They look like Venetian blinds, but they're paper on her windows. And the guy came to take them off, and they had put tape on it and took a razor blade to the window and damaged the inside. And she was in tears. And I said, "What are you worried about?" And she says, "You're going to make this go away." I said, "Is it going to make you smile?" And she says, "Yeah." "How much is this going to cost me?" I said, "How much do you want to spend?" She's like, "What kind of question is that?" I go, "How much are you interested in spending today?" And she says, "I figured it's at least $500 to fix that." I go, "Well, it's $2,000 probably to replace that window. And how about this? Would it make you smile even more if I said I can do that for $200? And she's like, "You can do that for $200? And I said, "As long as you understand that it's a $200 repair that's going to take me 20 minutes from starting to cleaning up to leaving to making you smile and taking your check." She says, "I'll even give you a tip." I said, "I don't need a tip." Nice. So there's so much money to be made in that untapped market. And, no one product that I'm going to give you is going to teach it to you. That's where the training comes in. That's where the experiences come in. That's where practice and passion come in, just like anything else.
Right.
So, Mark, would this make for good winter work and training also? It probably would. In a colder climate,
you're gonna have to sign up for our association to we're gonna charge you.
Exactly.
We're gonna charge you for it. I'm gonna charge you for it just because I know Mark. I'm gonna make money, and I'm gonna most likely what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find out the secret. Then I'm gonna kick him out. But please continue. We're having an emergency board meeting.
Yeah. When I did windows, I did scratch removal in Boston. And it was 40 degrees out. It does take a little longer when it's cold. There is other things you have to watch out for when it's that cold. You wouldn't want to heat a window to 150 degrees right here, and then over here it's 40 degrees. That could, in my opinion, I've never had a problem. It could cause a problem, So, I was doing it last week in the mornings, and it was 45 degrees out, and it's noticeably slower. But the glass cools faster, so you can continuously work. So beyond 40 degrees, I've never attempted it, but hey, so as far as it being winter work, it's year round. You get proficient at it, it's year round.
Well, I can tell you this, from what I understand, what you're developing is not necessarily, are there 2 different things is there one thing for the stains, the stain removal, and then there's something completely different for the scratch removal?
Okay, well, the scratch removal, the process that I have implemented is a 3-step process. Okay? It's a cut, it's another cut, and then it's a polish. The stain removal, for the most part, is the same as the 3rd step of the glass restoration. Okay? Now, that doesn't mean that some glass is so bad, stain-wise, that you actually have to treat it as if it was scratched.
Right.
You have to completely resurface it.
Just depends on if it's been eroded. And
exactly, if it has that surface erosion to it. Now, I have 2 different stain removers. One's more aggressive than the other, obviously. That would be the difference. The more aggressive one is not something you would want to use to polish a scratch removal.
Right.
Okay? It's too aggressive. So actually, if you use the most aggressive one, you always have to come back with the final step for scratch removal to finish polish it up 90% of the time. So what I've designed is two different polishes with different abrasives in them. Okay, pads that are designed in such a way to work for you and make the job easier. Discs that hold those pads that are, without giving out too much, interchangeable, something that no one else has. Okay, as well as the process of doing it all. Okay, the step-by-step process to go from point A to point B as efficiently as possible.
That's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. It's awesome. I can't wait to see it happen live in my eyes. I will get to. I mean, you guys are going to get to see some of it. Some of it, of course, you can't. I'm shooting it all for Mark, so he has training video per se for in his process. But as far as YouTube videos, you'll get a little bit of this and a little bit of that. You know what I'm saying? But
let me answer Phil's
I'll take
question.
your $500, Joe.
Philip Alexander, any type of black pad. Nothing I use is black. Okay? And nothing in that kit that you are playing around with that has different colored pads, I don't use anything from that. Nothing. I've learned my lesson with that problem. Okay? So, no. To answer your question, Phil, no pad is black. No pad comes out of that kit that you own. You might as well take the polisher and throw the rest of it away because nothing else works very well.
This is the thing. I don't want to get any further into this discussion than we already have. I really think. Everyone's like, I'll buy Mark's system. Okay, how much for a pre-order?
Yeah,
it's not even. First of all, this ain't gonna be a pre-order thing. It's just gonna be done, and then you're gonna get it. Yeah. But it's not It's not even close to that. I mean, it's all the research and development is done. It's the manufacturing of said products.
Exactly. That's the part I don't know anything about. And just so people know more about me,
stay out of this fucking inbox.
Yeah, I'm definitely not so much afraid, intimidated by failure. Yeah. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Now I know what I'm doing in the right hands is not a failure. Uh-huh. Okay. For instance, when I started doing barbecue competitions, I had a guy come to me that I coached football with. He's like, "I'm getting money back from an investment. I've got $75,000. Let's go open a barbecue restaurant." And for a minute, I had delusions of I'm going to own a barbecue restaurant. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the fact that I think small, and I'm definitely intimidated by failure. I said I'm not going to take this guy $70,000 and take money out and build this restaurant. I might not be washing windows right now had I taken that.
Right.
But this is something that I know for a fact. There's a huge market. And to answer Phil's question, I could send anyone on this podcast all of the equipment with an instruction manual. And without hands-on training, it's probably, look, I sent polish to Chris Ritchie, okay, and love him or leave him. Chris has always been a nice guy to me. He had some stain issues. I've sent polish to a couple people as testers, and by no means is that all the testers I would want to have out there with the product, but everyone has come back and said, what you sent me works 75% better than anything that I bought or tried, but the glass isn't perfect. Okay, so that's where the instruction and the training tells you how to determine
to get you that extra 25%.
Exactly, how to get to that 25%, or if it's not achievable due to the condition of the glass, how to make it to 100%. Because you got to know all the facets of it, and then it fits together like a puzzle.
I get to see it all go down. Right, Mark?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? I mean, absolutely. You're not. Are you gonna do some of it before I get there? Probably. I gotta get this done before TJ gets here.
I think the plan's gonna be the first day I'm gonna go there without you. Yeah. They know you're coming.
Yeah.
Probably without you, so I can assess what it is that I'm gonna need to do for this job, and then at that point, I'm gonna bring you in there. You're gonna bring the camera, and then, if it's the right situation, I'm gonna put the polish in your hand. And try to train you the way I would teach someone else to see if my method of taking someone who doesn't have much experience with this, what it's going to take for me to make TJ the ability to do glass restoration.
Ha Fuck yeah, dude. I tell you what, no matter what the situation, I'm just glad to get to maybe spend some time with you, because you are like at its core, you're my friend. So I'm anxious to get to hang out with you. But the opportunity to help you in the process of getting this off into the world, I'm really stoked about that. Not only am I going to get to learn something and get to hang out with you, but I'm also maybe I can be a little bit of a service to you. Because I don't know the first thing about removing a scratch off a piece of glass. I don't know the first thing. You know what I mean?
Okay,
so
I think when I leave there, you will be able to not necessarily do scratch removal right off the bat, but with the instruction that I put in your head and showing you the process that I use, even though I'm not there to do stains, we can go find some stains and play around with them. If you got customers with stains, we're not going to charge them. We're going to say, let's see if we can get this taken care of.
Maybe we can get those halos off those windows I showed you.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But with that experience, you will be able to say, hey, I've got this job in downtown Ohio here, and they've been looking at these stains for years, and Mark showed me how to do this, and I'm going to call him and ask him a few questions, and then you're going to go there and do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because that to me would make me proud. You know what I'm saying? It'd make me happy, put a smile on my face that TJ went and took care of something that he didn't previously have the ability to do.
I would love to be able to do that.
Yeah. The one thing you have to wrap your head around is not being intimidated. You know what I'm saying? Like, I told the story about the Wrigley's family that had $15,000 a piece sliding glass doors that had metal impregnated in them. Okay. And so you're going to take any power tool to a $15,000 sliding glass door.
Yeah.
The most important thing is, and I don't make them sign waivers or anything. I verbally tell them, and it could come back to bite me without paperwork, that just so you understand, because at the time I had 6 years less experience. So if I have 10 years now, I was only at the 4-year point, and they told me the price of the sliding glass door.
Your butt was
obviously
there's
on
no
their
way
mind.
your butt wasn't puckered.
Dude, it was. I ate my underwear that day. But I have to say that the way you speak to someone, you say to them, well, obviously this is so bad it needs to be either fixed or replaced, right? So nothing I'm going to do to this is going to make it any worse. We're going to try to make it better. And how good can we get it? Let's see. They understand going into it that you're not going to be responsible to pay for that window.
Right.
Because any way around it, it's going to have to be replaced. So once you wrap your head around that, a lot of the intimidation goes away.
Right.
And then once you get to a point where I always tell people, don't use someone's glass as a science experiment, meaning don't go to Home Depot or see what you saw on a Facebook post. Go buy some toilet bowl cleaner, spray it on a window, and it might work, it might not, it might burn the glass, it might be an issue, you might make it worse. Okay, I'm to the point now, and that's where everyone who does it for a living needs to be, to the point that if you're going to do a little experiment, because that's how I've learned everything, is let's try it this way, or let's speed up the polish, or let's slow it down, or let's try this pad. As long as you can back out of that and repair an issue if you cause one, that's a safe place to be. You understand?
Yeah. Yeah. My audio and Mark's audio. My microphone is super hot. I have a microphone. Mark's got a gaming headset on, so one of these days, I'm gonna get Mark.
Mark's going to graduate to a Mr. Microphone.
Yeah, Mark's going to graduate to an actual microphone. This is the thing, what you guys don't realize is Mark is barely on the internet right now. His wife is, if you guys enjoy Mark on the podcast, send Mark's wife some what if she don't like chocolates? So maybe you send her some some strawberries,
something from Whole Foods.
From Whole Foods. Get her a Whole Foods gift card, because if it wasn't for her, this podcast wouldn't be possible.
Well, see, look, I'm older than you, obviously, so I didn't grow up with the technology that was put in front of you. And to me personally, I was always the kid that never had a toy that lasted more than 10 minutes, because if it was mechanical, I took it apart to see what made it work.
I took stuff apart.
Yeah. Okay, but my point is, computers and stuff, other than a fan, have no moving parts, so I have zero interest in them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like the other day, my wireless printer to run my invoices for my company, somehow the IP address on the printer changed from the computer, right? And I think that had to do with when I changed over to fiber, right?
Fiber!
Yeah, I actually had to call my computer guy and spend $110 because he couldn't walk me through changing the IP address on the printer. I was like, just come fucking fix this.
Right.
He's like, well, it's going to cost you $110. And I go, I've got thousands of dollars worth of invoices waiting to be printed in the queue, and they're not going to get printed. So come do it. I'm trying to save you the money. I said, you're going to be frustrated. I'm going to be frustrated. Just come fix this fucking thing. Right. And he comes in for 10 minutes and it's fixed.
Yeah, I tell you what, man. Philip said there's lots of money in showers here. Hard water is $175, Phoenix 500, TDS to 800. I can tell you what, right now, I would love to be able to fix my shower doors. Just if I could, that's when you show me what you're gonna show me. That's where I'm gonna practice to get the stains off.
We can actually. Is it a double door? Or is it one door?
It's 2 doors that slide.
Yeah, past each other or whatever.
Yeah.
They pass each other.
Yeah.
We can actually do one of them together, and then you can play around with the other one, or we can do them both. And
the first thing we're gonna do is get the scratches off those windows up here. Then we're gonna do other stuff.
Yeah, we've got a lot planned.
We're doing podcasts. We're gonna do route work. We're gonna go see Cody Jenks. We're gonna remove all the scratches on this glass. We got all this shit planned.
But here's a
in like 2 days to do it.
Here's a little thing into the market, because I've thought about this before, because I do zero marketing for my company.
Of course.
My work for glass restoration either comes from a contractor I did work for in the past where they screwed up, or a glass installation company, because I work for every one of them that's local to me for the most part. There's one or two that don't know who I am, and I keep it that way because the phone rings, without them. So point being, like my dad when he was alive, he said, with what you're doing, if you put an ad in one of those rag magazines that goes out to neighborhoods with a before and after of a shower door, the floodgates would open, okay? Or if you put an ad for shower doors and glass cooktops, if you have a glass cooktop and you cook pasta and it overflows and then you burn that glass burner, we can fix those too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? That's huge. That is huge. He goes, here's the problem. You're not going to be able to handle it all. And I'm not, because at the heart of it, I'm still a window cleaner. I'm still pushing around. I'm still selling. I'm still organizing my guys, okay, to where I stay busy enough with the glass restoration so that it's profitable. I still take a lot of that money in glass restoration and put it back into glass restoration, still buying things and trying them out just to try to make it that much better, or that much more efficient, or that much easier for someone to learn it,
Well, I hope everybody enjoyed the podcast. If you want to be a supporter of the podcast and you want to become a patron, go to www.patreon.com/Squeegee Life, and you can make a monthly donation there. There's different levels. If you want to make a one-time donation, just reach out to me privately. I'll give you the PayPal information. If you guys are wanting some Maker products, from what I understand, Maker products are all over the shelves.
Delivered.
Yep, to your door. So if you want a handy sleeve or a Trident belt or a track brush, which I don't have a track brush, even though it was my idea, which really pains me. I mean, those are my track brushes. He straight up stole that from me. Yeah, go check that out. They're everywhere. Window Magic. WindowCleaner.com. Speaking of WindowCleaner.com, don't forget, guys, if you are in the market for a new water-fed pole and you're more inclined to maybe go down the zero path, all you need to do is call Jordy or Jersey and mention the Squeegee Life podcast, and WindowCleaner.com will give you 10% off the purchase of a new water-fed pole from zero. So don't forget.
Sweet.
Yeah. So thanks to WindowCleaner.com for extending that to us. We really appreciate it. The Patreon shirts are coming soon, man. Yeah, R.I.P. Kobe, by the way, man. That's fucking terrible.
Yeah,
rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. I'm not a Laker fan, but Kobe was one of the GOATs, man, like one of the best ever. So it's really it's really terrible that what happened to him. That's just awful. So and we can't forget our audio guy Duffy, man. Congratulations, he just had a baby. So thank you to him.
Did it come out?
I don't know. I don't know if she's with us yet or not. But I just want to say congratulations, if so, because we haven't heard from him. But again, we really appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you like this podcast and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And right there, Jersey, just 862-312-2026. Call Jersey, mention the Squeegee Live podcast, get 10% off a Zero Poll. What's up, Fernando?
How can you go wrong with that? How can you go wrong with that?
It's not bad. Not bad at all, man. Yeah. Not bad at all. But yeah, dudes, I thank everybody for watching. Hopefully you'll tune in next week. Maybe next week it might be a Mark and TJ podcast. Well, I don't know because you're going to be here the 4th, which is a Tuesday, right?
Yep, I show up on Tuesday.
You're going to go there Wednesday by yourself.
Yep.
So we probably won't do the podcast.
Well, we could do it Thursday. Maybe. Either way.
Yeah, we'll see.
Look,
we'll see.
Even if it doesn't work out where we did a in-studio podcast, I can do it. I have Skype on my phone. That's how I started. I can do it from a hotel room. I mean, either way, we're gonna put on a show for people. They keep showing up and enjoying what we're doing and supporting.
Right.
The Patreon page and start supporting TJ. Buy some T-shirts from him.
Yeah.
That's really important. And support Richie Blue with Maker Products. He's got a hell of a. He's had to jump a lot of hurdles over the last few years, and hey, he's one of us. He's no different than me and you. He goes out every day. And he washes windows to support himself and his family, and he's got some great innovative ideas that are high quality. And you know what? You can buy stuff similar to what he's getting for what you might consider more for your money. You get a couple more of them. Support one of us. Show him the love for his hard work and dedication over the last few years. Because if anybody deserves it, it's him.
Yeah. Well, Dream Chasing, we'd love to have Tim on, but Tim never shows up. Tim
was supposed to come on tonight.
I asked him to come on tonight. I ask him to come on every night, but I
have to say this though. Tim's videos seem to be cut out of the same mold, but the one he did recently with Joe Hardy, Joe Hardy edition, I actually watched it twice, laughing so at that. It's good stuff right there.
Kevin Hargis got a quick question. Can you repair scratches in tempered glass like regular windows?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. 90% of the glass out there now, I know in Florida, anything 3 foot above the ground, meaning a second window on a wall, is tempered glass. So absolutely. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Annealed, hardened, tempered.
Right.
None of those things matter. It all works.
Just so all the guys that are asking about the Patreon shirts, all of the Patreon shirts are done. All the cards are done. Everything is packaged in their respective packages, ready to be shipped. Is once I'm not poor anymore, I will send you your Christmas gifts. I'm just poor. All of that came out of my money. My money out of my own pocket. I mean, you guys support the podcast. That wasn't nearly enough to even buy what I needed to do, what I did. Yeah. But I love you guys. Shirt. Yeah, I love you guys for it. So you guys are awesome. You guys mean the world to me. The Patreon supporters, you guys mean the fucking world to me. So I will get those out just as soon as I can. But you guys, they're on their way. I promise.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and you guys are gonna get more free shit as the year goes on anyway. So, just cut me some fucking slack. It's January, and I ain't got no money.
Some slack, Jack.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I can't even. Mark's got to come and fucking give me a piggyback ride to his job when he comes up here. The fuck, man.
Okay, we're good with that.
But yeah, guys, let's all try to refrain from shitting on each other and treating each other like dog shit before for stepping on each other's necks. Let's try to be a little better to each other out there, guys. So
yeah, we're all trying to cut the same deal and make the same living.
Don't be a Philadelphia Eagles fan. You know what I mean? Don't be an Eagles fan. So that's a new podcast catchphrase. Don't be an Eagles fan. So
one more thing, T.
yeah.
Who do you got in the Super Bowl this weekend?
Man, I'm on the fence. There's so many dudes in here from Kansas City. They're going to be mad. But I got, man, the 49ers are just nasty, man. That defense is disgusting.
If they play like they did against Green Bay, forget it.
But I'm just glad that it's two new teams in the Super Bowl. That's what I'm happy about.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see the Chiefs in there. I'm happy to see the 49ers in there. Yes, I make Maker shirts. I've always sold Maker shirts. Just, it is what it is. It's winter. We're all there. Thank you, Jason. I know, buddy. I know it's winter and we're all there, but this year I really, really tried. I busted my ass so I wouldn't be in this position, and it still didn't work.
Yeah.
I do too much at Christmas. The Patreon thing, I did way too much, dude. I did way too much. Yeah. Jennifer's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, it's cool. And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
Well, you gotta.
I should have kept it in within the parameters I set. And I went above the parameters that I set all the time.
Yeah.
So
you know what it is? You gotta ramp up for that winter season. You gotta hard body karate.
No. Fuck that, Mark. I am building my storefront route. As a matter of fact, Jordy, the Window Cleanse, sent me his book, Storefront Mastermind. It's awesome. It came with some videos and shit. Yeah, yep. I'm going hard body on storefronts. When you come up here, if we get a little bit of time, I'm going.
I'd like to see it.
I want you. I want to take you around, and I want you to tell me what you would do, how much you price things in your mind, so I get a little better idea.
Dude, I'll go solicit a job with you there. I'll put your shirt on. I'll walk in. I'm not kidding.
If you put my shirt on, it'll look like a dress.
I'll put a knot on the side.
Yeah, fucking horse blanket.
No, but here's the thing. If you have a store you've been targeting and want to go in, I'll put your shirt on. I'll walk in representing Clearview's, and I'll try to sell the job. Awesome. Just listen to I'm not saying I'm a great salesman. Right. I'm far from a great salesman, but it's all in the confidence of what you're selling. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. It's in the confidence of what you're selling. That's like when that lady showed me the scratches on her window, and she says, "How much is this going to cost?" I said, "How much do you want to pay? How much do you want to pay? Tell me what you want to do.
What do you want to do?"
Exactly. Right. You got to have confidence, not cocky. There's a difference. You don't want to be cocky.
I really, really, really want to get my storefront game on point. I have a lot of friends in the industry, you being one of them, Richie Blue being another one, and Luke the window cleaner and Steve-O, and a lot of these guys have a really super solid route. And my route is, I got a lot of restaurants, but I need other businesses besides restaurants.
You need to tighten your route up to where you're building around those restaurants.
Yes, and I have never done that.
You've got 30 restaurants. That's putting you in 30 places that you most likely don't have enough or have a lot.
$7, Jason.
Yeah. But you know what, dude? I told you this before, and I'm going to say it again before we close out, and I'll show it to you if you want to see it in action. Mm-hmm. The line that has always worked for me is when you're reading someone and you're selling them window cleaning on a route or storefront, you say exactly this. How about this? Give me 30 days. I'm going to clean your windows 2 times in 30 days. At the end of the month, it's $35. Okay? And at the end of the month, if you don't think that the service is of value to you, you can pay me my $35, shake my hand, and maybe someday you'll call me. You'll get them every time because they're like, what do I got to lose? It's $35. Right. You know what I'm saying? Or $25 or $55.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I told you I had to start building my route back up. I went into a restaurant downtown here that the mall manager, remember I did that big skylight? Mm-hmm. Okay, well the guy that gave me the skylight referred me to the restaurant. So once you get a referral from the manager, that's a leg up. Okay, I went in there and I said, I've lost a lot of route jobs. I've got to sell this restaurant, but I can't show desperation and go in with a low price.
Right.
Okay. I walked in. I talked to the lady. I said, she's like, I don't know what kind of service we need. I said, okay. This is what the 2 restaurants, Ruth Chris and City Cellar, does for the last 15 years. I've been cleaning Ruth Chris, and for the last almost 20, I've been cleaning City Cellar. She goes, well, I guess I don't need any references. I said, we'll walk down there right now.
Right.
You want to talk to Michael, the manager at City Cellar? I don't have to open my mouth. I said, so I'll design a program based on what I think you need.
Mm.
And it's probably going to be a little less than you might think, not in price, but in service.
Uh-huh.
And I say that going, I'm going to save you a few bucks and we can always add more.
Right, of course.
And they go, oh, they like that because they're like, okay, he's going to do it. He's going to do a little less for a little less, and we can always add more. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it'll be adequate. Trust me when I tell you.
Right.
Weekly in and out on the low glass and once a month on the outside glass and quarterly on the inside high glass. I mean, you put this package together that even when you type it down in a proposal form, it takes up the whole sheet, and they look at it and they're like, look what I'm getting for $450 a month.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's all in the presentation and the way you speak to them, you know? And that was one that I emailed a proposal to, which I emailed 90% of my proposals. I emailed a proposal to, and then I said, I haven't heard back from them. So I waited 7-8 days, and I sent her an email. Hey, just want to know what you thought of the proposal. I know your grand opening is getting close. She immediately said, thanks for getting back to me. I've been very busy. We're going to use your company. What day would you like to clean it?
Awesome.
Done. Yeah,
so, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's all in the way that you present it. If you walk in like a cocky guy with an expensive truck,
right?
You're beneath them. Let's be real. You're beneath the owner of whatever it is you're cleaning. You might make more money, might have a nicer house, might drive a more expensive vehicle, but you're beneath them, and you need to go in there with that attitude.
Well, guys, you guys just got the hard body karate overtime minute with Mark Tanner there on the storefront. But yeah,
yes.
The next time we do a podcast, I'll make sure I have the Jordy's book with me. It's actually sitting next to my bed on the nightstand. I was reading it before I come in here. But yeah, man, I really appreciate you sending me that, Jordy. I'm actually going to use that and Mark's guidance and Luke the window cleaner's guidance. Because Luke the window cleaner is a straight savage on storefronts. Like.
Yeah,
we've talked numbers, and I wholeheartedly believe the guy because I talked to him enough to know that. I mean, they are smashing storefronts, and I just feel like I need to implement that in my business because there's a lot of that going around, and I need to implement that. And this season on my YouTube channel, which you guys should be subscribing to if you're not already, I'm going to show you guys my journey in building my storefront route. So I think that's going to be a little awesome thing. But we really appreciate you guys watching. Really thank you guys for sticking around for the extra 6 minutes, which we don't do very often because Mark is really a fickle being. And when he's done, he is done. So we really appreciate you guys. We will see you guys soon. And peace out, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Peace out. Guys, be good.